to live to 100. We're going to talk about this concept and talk about the blue zones. How do people actually live to 100 plus years old? What are they specifically doing? Are they doing the things that you would think about? Are they doing the protein shakes? Are they doing testosterone? Are they doing extreme workouts? Punchline. They're not doing any of those things, and we're going to break in and talk about this in this video. So the blue zones have been around for quite a long time. The author of the blue zones started writing about this probably about 15 years ago. And one concept that I think is very, very interesting to take away from the blue zones is movement. I want to talk about movement today, flexibility, and then we're also going to talk about activity. And we're not going to talk about the things that you would think, because a lot of times you would think extreme workouts, a lot of times you would think maybe extreme diets, a lot of times you might think about these things, but actually, when they look at people that are living to 100, 90s, 100 plus, taking a spot like Okinawa in Japan, which is one of the blue zones. And what a blue zone is a place where people live to 100 years old, or very close to 100. And there's pockets, there's about 4 or 5 pockets across the world where people are living to 100. Well, specifically in Okinawa, Japan, they found that this pocket was the southern part of Japan in Okinawa, at the bottom southern part, and they were having the highest population of people living to 100. And there's an article actually said this is potentially the I don't know if I want to say healthiest, but the longest living people in the world in this small region. And the question remains is, what are these people doing to live so much longer than the rest of the population? Well, number one is look at flexibility of their bodies. So a normal person living in Okinawa would sit on the floor. It's actually not uncommon that person would actually be seated, not in a chair just like I am right now, but actually able to get up and down off the floor. And if you think about that from a strength and posture flexibility, they are able to get full joint range of motion all the way down and all the way up. And this is, where the common, potentially American range of motion, by the time somebody's in their mid to late 50s, that's very uncommon for people to get to the floor. Well, they may be going up and down off the floor 30 times a day. So that helps. Second thing that they found that people in Okinawa are doing in this area where they have all these centenarians, these 100-year-old people, is they have gardens, and they're actually able to hold a full squat while they're gardening. So not only are they in the garden on a daily basis tending the garden, but they're actually going into a full squat position to tend that garden, which again causes joint range of motion. But then there's a strength component, because you're actually not just getting up and down, but you're actually holding a full squat for an extended period of time. So you're getting a strengthening the legs, strengthening the quads, strengthening the glutes, hamstrings, calves. Everything's actually firing and having to work as you stabilize and hold that full squat or tending to the garden. So that would be the second thing that I thought was very, very clear. Then the author goes into looking at Sardinia, and this is a second blue zone where people are living to 100 years and a higher population of that. And they found the people there are actually using hills. So they're herding sheep or herding animals, and they're out herding in different altitude, different undulations of elevation. So their ankles, feet, body, their workout is doing cardio and different surface cardio for extended hours of the day. But again, it's not ultra marathons, it's not super hard activity, it's actually more sustained movement for the day. But we're looking at less pounding, so we're not pounding the joints, but we're actually moving frequently through the day. They also found these people in Sardinia tend to like to hike and walk through the town. So doing different elevations and doing that on a consistent basis. Another piece in the movement category that the author found was pickleball, believe it or not, causing community by playing an easy, fun, kind of outdoor-based game. Obviously, pickleball could be more intense, could be more competitive, but you can make it as competitive or not as competitive as you want. But the idea is that these people are playing in a community activity, and that also is promoting longevity. So these were some very interesting aha ideas that are not fancy, are not necessarily flashy, but that are producing results where people are living 90s to 100 years old in populations that are very high compared to the regular standard population. So hope you enjoyed this, how to live to 100 blue zones. We may dive deeper into this, but this is just a snapshot on what are they doing in terms of joint range of motion, flexibility, movement, activity, and how these people are living long lives. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good morning and good night.